Bob Ewell is solely responsible for the death of Tom Robinson. Bob used the court case against Tom Robinson as the murder weapon in his death. Bob had intent to kill Tom and made sure that would happen. He is guilty of voluntary manslaughter and should be charged accordingly. Before you, the jury, comes to a decision, here are some important details to take note of. It is a proven fact that Bob Ewell is quote-unquote unable to hold a job, spends all of his relief money on alcohol, and if that wasn't bad enough, he traps animals outside of the hunting season. It's obvious Bob has a little respect for our nation's laws and has a type of personality many of us would find socially unacceptable. A man this disrespectful, how are we able to trust what he was saying? With this case being built on Bob's false accusations and no other witnesses, the question is, can we trust him? At the previous courtroom hearing, as some of you may recall, Tom was brought up on charges of rape by Bob and Mayella Ewell. The prosecution finds that the case against Tom Robinson should have never made it to the courtroom for many reasons. First, Tom was brought to court because Bob didn't want it to get out that his daughter broke a social code, that being she wrongly kissed a black man. Bob intentionally forced his daughter to lie under oath, stating that Tom had raped and beat her, to push the blame on the Tom. There was also no evidence for the lies brought forth that Mayella was raped, as there was no doctor called after the so-called crime had taken place. There was no medical evidence to convict Tom of rape or beating Mayella. After the trial was over, Bob was found harassing the defendant's attorney, spitting and making threats, and even going as far as attempting to stab his children, Jem and Scout, on the night of October 31st. This shows the kind of man we're dealing with. One who has little respect for our legal system, one who is capable of murder, one who lies under oath, and one who intentionally took another man's life. If the jury needs any more reasoning, Bob knew for a fact that he would get Tom Robinson convicted because the jury would take his word over a black man's. Bob took advantage of his white supremacy in the South and used it to his advantage when he wasn't at one. We know Bob was a racist from the countless time he said Negro and many other derogatory terms. Bob clearly used his trial as a murder weapon, manipulating our legal system to meet his own needs, this being the death of Tom Robinson. As rape is a capital crime in Alabama and would surely lead to the death penalty, Bob knew all he had to do was get Tom on trial and then a jury would get Tom convicted for him. Bob did this so he wouldn't have to pay for his crime and wouldn't damage his or his daughter's reputation. Members of the jury, as you can clearly see from what has been presented, Bob Ewell intended to kill Tom Robinson and made sure it happened. Bob had a well-thought-out murder and had used his murder weapon, the trial. Make the right decision to convict Bob Ewell of voluntary manslaughter today. Justice must be served.